Welcome. I am Mark Berkler, and we're doing a presentation on GIA products, some health products which my daughter and I have been using for the last 3 years very successfully, produced tremendous health for my wife and I, and also for about 100 other people that we've shared it with. And tonight we're going to share it with you. And I'll do the teaching first up front as to some of the intellectual reasons why I've made the shifts I've made and decided to buy GIA products. And then I'll turn it over to Charity, and she will share the product line with you, and she'll let people share testimonies, and you'll have questions and answers before we close. So with no further ado, I am going to share my screen, and I'm just going to teach for a few moments where I'm at and why I'm there. So we all have a worldview, and I had a worldview concerning health, and that's that I should trust the medical profession, and I did. And until maybe 40 years ago or so, they're called allopathic doctors, Western doctors, and I had come back from Malaysia with parasites, and I went to the Western doctor 3 times to see if they could get rid of them for me. They couldn't. And one definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So I've already done it 3 times, got the same result, which is you can't solve my problem. So I went to a naturopath, tried something different. He gave me some herbs, and that was it. Knocked it out in one treatment. And so I got trained at Trinity School of Natural Health on how to become a naturopath. And there's three key things that all naturopaths know. They know that to be healthy, you have to do 3 things: nourish your cells, give them good nutrition, detoxify your body, and I would add to that, detoxify your soul and spirit too. A merry heart does good like medicine, turns your immune system on. So I've added a bit in the spiritual realm to detoxify. And the third thing is to strengthen the immune system, because a strong immune system will fight off disease. And so any activity that you do in your life that does one of those 3 things, nourish, detoxify, or strengthen, is a way of hugging yourself, giving yourself a big hug and say, I'm loving you and I'm taking care of you. And so there's hundreds of things we can do that are either hugs to our body or hits to our body. If I eat crud food, that's a hit. If I live in anger, that's a hit. If I forgive, that's a hug. So the goal is we want to increase hugs, and GIA Products gives you a chance to hug your body another 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways if you're using their product line. And the more ways we hug our body, the healthier we are. So topics we're going to discuss is, why should I take personal responsibility for my health? Why should you take responsibility for your health and not leave it with a doctor or the government? What are the key biblical principles that I know are foundational, I can stand on, and I know they're true, and I know they'll promote health, because there's so much disagreement as to what makes a person healthy. You have no idea where to stand. And then we're going to look eventually at discounted pricing, which Charity will get into that for the GIA product line. Once she's shown you what it is, she'll show you some beautiful, beautiful discounts. So all GIA products are energy infused, and they're utilizing patented technologies which increase the hugs to your body. I do love energy medicine, and I'll tell you why, biblically speaking, in just a few minutes. So all GIA products are going to do the 3 things a naturopath wants you to do. Going to detoxify your body, strengthen your immune system, and nourish your cells. So taking responsibility for my health. I'm the CEO of my body. I have to live in it until the day I die. I care about it more than anybody else, I think, more than a doctor does, more than the government does. I'm going to take charge of it. Health is not just the absence of disease, it's having energy, it's having emotional balance, it's having a sense of purpose. And I want to shift my focus from crisis management, which is I work on health when I'm in a crisis, to prevention. I want to do the things that hug my body so tightly that I prevent disease and crisis from even happening. So yeah, if I need to go to the hospital for crisis management, I will, but I sure prefer to put my focus, my energy, and my money into home nutrition, home management, and fixing things before a crisis hits. So my protocol for discovering health truths, because I got to have some system for how do I decide what's true that I'm going to act on. Well, I want to be humble. Blessed are the meek; they get to inherit the earth. So no pride. Okay, I'm a learner. Change my mind whenever I need to. I want to couple God's voice with the leading of my heart, and through multiple ways the Bible says He speaks to us. We can have a lumen scripture where the Bible says, "Hey, fasting is very, very healthy. A merry heart does good like medicine." So I want a lumen scripture. I want anointed reasoning, and anointed reasoning means my heart is teaching my mind. Out of the heart flows the issues of life. So I want flow. My heart is flow to flowing thoughts to lead my mind, lead my thinking. A lot of times I wake up in the morning and there we are with some flowing thoughts, which lead my thinking for the day. They're coming from my heart and my spirit. I want counsel of friends. The Bible says the multitude of counselors is wisdom and safety. So in the area of health, I'd like the health advisors to be ahead of me in the area of health. And they know more than I do. They look healthier than I am. Okay. And then the Bible says you can test things by their fruit. Well, what's the fruit of life say? I mean, if I decide, hey, look, I've done the research and I think maybe GM products are good, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try them, or any other company. I'm going to try it for a month. Because according to Einstein, information isn't knowledge. The only source of knowledge is experience, personal experience. So I'm going to personally experience the product line. And after a month, I'm going to say, hey, do I feel any better, any different? If I feel any better or different, I'm definitely going to want to continue. Okay. So some other things that are fruit that indicates to me where we're at and where I need to be and where probably you need to be also. The cost of healthcare per person annually in America is more than any of the other 200 nations that are listed in the world. And if you look at the top right corner there, we spend like $12,500 per person per year. And if you drop down just 6 nations, you're down to half that, 6,000. So we're spending more than double what what any other nation is spending. And once you get below 6 or 8 nations, I mean, it goes, they're spending like 1/10 of what we spend for healthcare. So since we're spending so much, I would surely assume and want to believe that we're going to be number one as far as longevity, but we're not. Because if you examine the fruit of the 200 countries and you rank them by life expectancy, you're going to find the US is number 48 on the list. That's 1/4 of the way down the list of 200 nations. That is poor fruit. I spend more money by far than anybody else, and 1/4 of the nations, 47 nations, live longer than me, which is not acceptable. It's horrible fruit. German lifespan, for example, for men, it's about 5 years longer than it is if I live here in the US. So why? Well, when Germans accepted pharmaceutical medicines, they didn't throw out homeopathics and herbology. They allowed doctors to prescribe all of that. But in America, we don't do that. Your doctor cannot prescribe homeopathics, cannot prescribe herbs. By law, he's forbidden to do that. If he does it, he's going to lose his license. So we threw out thousands of years of healthcare, which have been proven to work, and the Germans didn't. So they get to live longer than we get to live. Okay, Amish are the same thing. They don't do the pharmaceutical thing. They use herbs. Okay, and they live longer than the rest of the rest of the people in America. Okay. So what does the Bible say? What are some foundational things that I can stand on to know that it's true, okay, when it comes to healthcare? The Bible says the life of the flesh is in the blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. So, okay, what's going on with my blood? I want to know that. Well, according to this chart, you'll see in the bottom there, it says the blood is 94% water, okay? And so, wow, if I change the water going into my system, I could affect my blood because it's 94% water, and my blood goes to all different parts of my body, taking nutrients in and taking and bringing destructive things back out, damaged cells back out. So one of the GIA products, first one I'm going to show you, is a water unit that turns water into single file aligned. And because it is single file aligned and your cells demand stuff be single filed aligned in order to enter the cell, that was by a Nobel Prize winner, okay, who discovered that. If they've got patented equipment, which they do, that says, hey, we can turn water or any liquid that you put into this unit, we can turn it into single file align. So you can get 3 times more water into your cells, 3 times more nutrition in, 3 times more garbage out. So how about just listening to this story about single file aligned water? Just take 2 minutes here and we'll listen to this.
The largest nuclear disaster hit Chernobyl. It destroyed the health of millions. But in the aftermath, scientists made a startling discovery. Hundreds of thousands of people were virtually unaffected by the radiation fallout. But why? As scientists made their most profound health discovery of the 20th century, they found that those, quote, healthy people all drank water sourced from a remote mountain spring. And they found that this special water had a very unique single file aligned structure, resulting in life-changing wellness properties. Then in 1991, Japanese researchers confirmed that single file aligned water also has anti-aging properties. The fountain of youth just may have been discovered. In 2001, 15 years worth of research and development result in the first and only home use device to replicate and create single file aligned liquids. Within 30 minutes of the push of a button, you have iWater, intelligently designed water. In 2002, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office awards the world's only patent for single file aligned liquids to the iWater system. Then, in 2003, Nobel Prize winning research reveals the discovery of aquaporins, stating that for optimal hydration of the body, water must be single file aligned. In 2007, iWater activation sales spread rapidly from the United States to Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In 2010, a 300-page peer-reviewed research book published by the World Scientific further validates iWater's wellness properties and benefits. In 2011, Gia Wellness launches the world's first liquid nutritional supplement and anti-aging serums powered with Gia's patented single-file aligned technology.
Okay, so that gives you an introduction to single file aligned water. We have a Nobel Prize winner behind it. We have a US patent behind it. So when you drink this or use any of Gia's propendants, which protect you from EMF waves, what impact does it have on your blood? We're going to watch another 2-minute video on that.
We can see agglutination of the red blood cells. This person considers himself in good health. We can see, however, a uric acid crystal or debris in his blood. He consumed filtered water without making a noticeable change. After consuming 16 ounces of IH2O, we can observe that his red blood cells are completely detached. As we know, oxygenation affects the biological terrain. What a wonderful reaction. Subject number 2 has tried the pendant. Before the use of the pendant, we can observe the red blood cells that are stacked. We barely see protein particles or regulators in the plasma. After putting on the pendant for 15 minutes, we can see very little change. After using the pendant for an hour and a half and consuming 20 ounces of IH2O, look how much there is electrostatic electricity among the red blood cells. Drinking the water and using the pendant together increases the result. This shows the efficiency of the layered approach.
Okay, she mentions layered approach. So yes, Gia has a pendant that you can, I'm wearing one around my neck right now. Emits an energy field, one of these patented energy fields that increases the bio field of my body and the health of my body. And so we've looked, so that's 2 different energy fields. One energy field that changes water, bombards water for 30 minutes, electromagnetic field, and changes the water into single file aligned water. And you saw the impact on the blood. If life's in the blood and you can do that with your blood by just drinking a certain kind of water, single file aligned water, intelligent water, eye water, whatever you want to call it, smart water, okay? It's priceless. It's priceless. And it's a wonderful, wonderful gift of health, okay? So, moving on. Here's what the unit looks like. It's a countertop unit. Just sits on a counter, plugs into the wall, doesn't require electrician. There's no filters to replace. That will last 39 years. That little top there emits an electromagnetic field down into the water for 30 minutes. When you push the button on top, light starts blinking red. 30 minutes later, it stops blinking red, and that means your water has now been converted from clustered water into single file aligned, so it can enter the cells in the way that the cells can receive it, because the cells require single file aligned water. If your water isn't single file aligned, then your body has to break it down into single file aligned before it can enter the cell. So it's an extra workload which you're taking off from your body, which is a way of hugging your body and increasing your health if you're drinking this kind of water. This unit will last 39 years. So for Patty and I, we're both using it. It's going to last 20 years. $1,000 or $2,000 investment that lasts me 20 years and produces a tremendous health is a steal, an absolute steal for us. So before I started drinking the water, I had this rash had been on my arm, and one arm, the other arm, one leg, the other leg, for months. And after drinking eye water for 1 week, that's what my arm looked like after 1 week. So I had never bought a water unit that did this for me. I have purchased a Grander water unit. I've purchased numerous other water units, most of them $2,000 to $3,000 for the water unit. None of them produced any immediate response that I could see. So this is an immediate response, and that excited me. Patty, she started drinking it. She had a black and blue mark on her ankle from a bicycle accident, a bruise that hadn't healed up for a decade or so, and it just kind of basically disappeared. 95% just removal over the first few weeks. Her blood pressure over the first several weeks went down every single week. So those were two dramatic testimonies. We're going to make these PowerPoint available to you, a link to them, so you can go to these PowerPoints, click on all of these hyperlinks in the PowerPoint at your own leisure, and spend as much time as you want on any one of these pages exploring it in more depth. And this link in the middle of this page is 100 real-life testimonies from people that we know that we signed up who purchased the water unit, and they had improved health, and they tell their stories. Okay, so here's what lettuce looks like. The picture on the right is lettuce after you've sprayed it and given it access to eye water. Picture on the left is clustered water. Here's milk. Top left corner there, regular milk sitting outside out on the counter. And activated milk. I went through you can put milk, juice, coffee, tea, water, anything in this activator for 30 minutes. So day one, they're both fine. They're both fine. Day two, next picture on the right, regular milk starting to get some mold in it, virus, fungus. Activated milk still looks fine. Day six, the unactivated, the regular milk, definitely getting worse. And by day 9, it's horrible, the regular milk, but the activated milk is only just beginning to have a growth of any sort of crud in the milk. Well, hey, if that's going to happen inside my body, if drinking activated water is going to slow down the growth of bacteria and fungus and things like that, that's $1 million gift. That's my way of giving my body a big, big hug. So here's Dr. Peter. He's the one who won the Nobel Prize. You can click on those links and learn more about him and the Nobel Prize. And then on the bottom picture, that's Dr. Smirnoff. He's the guy who patented it, who researched for a decade and then patented this eye water unit that we can make available to you at an amazing price. And then if you want to dig deeper, there's a whole book on it. I did read their book, okay? Pretty deep book. It's by Smirnoff, and molecular resonance effect technology. Here's a summary statement right in the middle of this PowerPoint. I'm just going to read it. This is from the book, within the book. MRET water, which is eye water, performs each of the following functions. It will increase hydration, which is great. Nutrient absorption will increase. Cellular detoxification increases. Think in terms of the three things that a naturopath says you must have. You need to detox. Enhanced immune response, that's one of the three things also. Decreased inflammation, antibacterial, antiviral, anti-tumor, and inhibits the growth of mutated cells. He was able to prove all of this in laboratory studies. There's a 14-page summary right here, this hyperlink, with lots of pictures by Dr. Smirnoff, so you can read the toned down version and see the pictures of the impact, okay? So the body can heal itself quite quickly, and here's why. This is mind-bending to me. Red blood cells reproduction, this is from Perplexity AI. So the human body produces approximately 2 to 3 million red blood cells every 3 days, every 2 weeks. Nope, every second, 2 to 3 million blood cells. Under normal circumstances, when you're under stress, it said it goes up to 119 million per second. Can't even wrap my head around it. Another statement, the total biochemical reactions per second in a single cell is 1 billion. All right. And if you put all the cells of your body together, they're talking about quadrillion chemical reactions in your body on an ongoing basis, daily basis. So yeah, it's beyond my ability to even picture, but that's why, I can drink some water one day and I can have a huge change within a day because there's so much happening in my body. And when I'm hugging it and giving it good stuff, it goes right to work, making the changes that it knows it needs to make in the order that it knows they should be made. So you say, well, what's going to happen first for me? Your body's going to determine that. God made your body intelligent. It knows what needs to be fixed first, and second and third, it'll do it in the order that is best for you, and it will probably be different than what has happened for me or the other people that you hear testimonies from. So here are the 4 patents that Dr. Smirnoff has with the U.S. Patent Office. And you can click on that link there and you can take a look at all 4 patents, which I did. Okay, and I want to make that available to you. So we've covered one of the patents now, the electromagnetic field that turns clustered water into single file aligned eye water. So Gia uses 2 other of his patents, which are energy patents, and they infuse the energy from the other 2 inventions into the product line. So they have a 2-minute explanation, which is very simple, very easy. Let's just go and listen to that.
MRET and ERT, 2 of Gia's top technologies, work together very harmoniously. Here's a very simple analogy and explanation to illustrate their functions. We know electromagnetic radiation is a threat to our health and wellness, and we need to protect ourselves. Let's compare it to the days of old, when a knight in shining armor needed to fend off the dangerous arrows of an attacker. Think of those arrows as EMR, or electromagnetic radiation. They represent the incoming threat. Gia's patented technology, MRET, has the ability to intercept that EMF arrow and essentially break off the sharp, dangerous tip, rendering it a relatively harmless stick. The other technology is energy resonance technology, or ERT, which reinforces the body's armor, or biofield. That armor needs to be kept strong and resilient so we are better equipped to battle stress and environmental forces. ERT keeps our armor strong and ready. So you end up with dual protection. MRET that thwarts incoming threats, and ERT, another that strengthens the body's defense mechanisms. Together, MRET and ERT are the optimal battle partners in the fight against electromagnetic radiation.
Okay, so that's a very brief introduction to the other 2 patented energies that Gia has put into all of its products. So here's a pendant that I'm wearing around my neck, and it's fused with one of these energies. and it's healing energy. It's strengthening to my body, the human body, and it strengthens the biofield, the energy field that my body sends out. So it makes me stronger in a defense against disease that may be seeking to attack my body. So one of their products that they sell is a phone guard for your cell phone to help tone down the radiation, take those sharp spikes off the radiation that's hitting our cells and putting us in fight or flight mode all the time. So if you got a phone up to your ear, you see this is a person's head. This deep red is how much it's heated up the center of their brain, and of course produces brain tumors. Okay, but if you've got Gia's protective shield on your phone, you see there's not a really red hot spot inside your brain. So it's taken a lot of the sharpness of Wi-Fi and radiation signals out of contact with you, and it's protected you from that. Again, priceless, priceless, simple things we can do. So energy healing, does the Bible talk about energy healing? It sure does. A woman who had a hemorrhage for 12 years couldn't be healed by anyone. She came up behind Jesus. She touched the fringe of his cloak. Immediately her hemorrhage stopped. Jesus said, "Hey, who touched me?" And while they were denying it, Peter said, "Master, all the people are crowding and pressing in on you." But Jesus said, "No, someone did touch me, for I was aware that power had gone out of me." So there was divine healing power in him. Through touch, it was released. Okay, and we can still do that today because he has now given us the power to lay hands on people, cast out demons, and heal the sick. There are multiple words in the New Testament for this energy. One of the words is energus, which means active energy. Okay, so yeah, energy can be infused into our hands and flow from our hands, can be infused into a pendant or many different things. Okay, here's another verse that kind of describes it pictorially. Light flashes from his hand, and our hands too, since we have the Holy Spirit within us, where his power is hidden. So the power is hidden in his hand, and it can be passed on through touch. So there's a blog of mine where we look up every single verse in the New Testament that has energio in it, and you can see all the impact that this energy of the Spirit has in your life. It's absolutely remarkable. It's what it is. And it's just one of three words in the New Testament, or four or five, but there's three main words for energy. There's exousia for authority, there's dunamis for power, and then there's energus for active energy. So yeah, the Bible's big on energy healing. I am very big on energy healing. I have used energy healing, focused on it for many, many years of my life, because I see it is biblical, and the anointing I see does use that. All right, so another line of products that Gia has is a detox. And again, that's one of the three things a naturopath says: you need to detoxify your body. So God designed our bodies to run on 60 chemicals. And since 1950, we have produced 350,000 new chemicals. And we've put 3,600 into food packaging. And now it's found in our human body. An extra 3,600 chemicals are found in the tissues in our bodies. So that means we're really crowded up, and we really need to cleanse. So they have a product called Cleanse, which I mixed together with another one of their products, which is called Thrive. So just look at both of these right together, because I dump a cap full of, which is an ounce of each one, into a glass of eye water every morning, and that's my morning drink. It's delicious. Okay, so their Thrive, which is nutrition. Okay, and that's nourish the cells. Okay, so we're looking at nourishing the cells, cleansing the body. The things that a naturopath knows must be done in order to be healthy. So their iThrive has an ORAC value of over 50,000. ORAC is a measurement of the ability of the product to be an antioxidant, which means it heals up free radicals. And a free radical in your body is something that's lost an electron, and it's going weird, and if left unchecked and not given an electron, which an antioxidant can give it an electron, it will just damage more cells and can produce a tumor or any sort of thing. So apples, they got an ORAC value of 750, kale 440, spinach 400, blueberries 1100. But iThrive has 50,000 ORAC value. Very, very, very powerful as an antioxidant to lend electrons to damaged cells and heal them up. So yeah, ounce of that in the morning. Um, and I put it with an ounce of detox, put them together. So I'm detoxifying and nourishing in eye water, which means it's going, all this is going in 3 times better and it's coming, bringing crud back out 3 times faster. So their cleanse, which is a liquid, and it's all of this stuff is made with eye water. Okay, so the liquid of cleanse is eye water. Okay, single file aligned water. It's a gentle detox, and it goes into every cell of your body and detoxifies very gently all the cells of your body. Fights against gut inflammation, supports your digestive system. 80% of the people in America have gut issues. Okay, leaky gut, the statistics show. So because of our diet, because of the chemicals, yeah, most of us have gut issues right now. So they have a proprietary blend of aloe, ginger, turmeric, and they put it into the patented single file alignment technology, makes it 3 times more absorbable. So I mix them together and I drink them every morning. And an ounce a day of each is to maintain health. And if you want to restore health, then you can take more because they have a protocol. GIA has a protocol saying, hey, if you want to do a deep cleanse, like a spring and fall house cleaning, we do a deep cleanse, you can do that. Just drink a whole lot more. And they tell you how much more to drink and how often to do it. And I've done both. Okay. The daily as well as a deep cleanse, they both have been very effective in keeping me healthy and restoring my health. Okay, and this final list is links that you can go to for more information, and I'll let you do that on your own time. So that is a brief introduction as to where I'm at, why I'm there. I take personal responsibility for my health. I research things. I make sure they're biblical. I try them out, and if they have a profound impact and they're reasonably priced, I share them with people because I like to share good gifts with people. So I am going to turn this over now to my daughter, Charity Kayumbi, and she is going to share with you the GIA product line and introduce to you some people with testimonies who will share their testimonies. And then she'll also introduce Sue, who's been with the GIA company for a dozen years, and she'll be able to answer questions. And they're also going to be giving you a discounted price because GIA puts together bundles where you can get all these products together and try them all at once. And for me, hey, the synergy just multiplies the healing impact. So if I can afford it, I will just try them all, at least for a month, and just see, hey, what's my experience? All right, let me turn this over to Charity.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a great foundation. And now that we've learned like the science kind of about it, like what does it mean? What does it look like in our lives and what are the results? Just to kind of throw it out there, I think you guys know, but we're not making any medical claims. We never do that. We're just sharing our stories. This is what we took. This is what happened. You guys can connect the dots. But my story with it, I was first introduced to GIA Wellness and the eye water like 3 years ago. Well, almost 4 years. But it was in February. It was snowboarding season. And, usually when, first of all, the first thing I noticed, let me back up. First thing I noticed, I just had more energy, which was great in and of itself. I'm like, oh, I'm waking up before my alarm clock and I have like energy to go throughout the day. And that was great. But then we would go snowboarding and, by the end of the day, I'd get tired. I would be sore. And the next day would be like a rest day. And so then we would go snowboarding and oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Let's keep going. Let's do more runs. And the next day I would just jump on the treadmill and it would be like 5 miles and I'd be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I have all of this energy. Even when I use it up with exercise and working out, I still feel amazing. And I'm like, I think there's something to this water. And I didn't even really know about it or anything, but like I watched like some videos, I learned about, oh my goodness, people like in Chernobyl, they didn't get cancer. So that's when I called my dad. I'm like, hey, have you heard about this water? You know, it helped people be resilient. Like they with the nuclear disaster, they didn't get cancer, but I'm feeling all kinds of energy too. And my dad and my naturopath, both of them, they're like, we've never heard of it, but we want to try it. And at that point, I was just a customer. I'm like, wait, let me become a consultant. So like, I'm going to share good news anyway. So I should get a little kickback for it. So that's kind of how I just fell into sharing Gia. I was just so excited with my results and I wanted other people to experience the same amazing benefits. Like dad was talking about, okay, like there's the pendant, like I'm wearing like a heart pendant. There's cool ones. There's like a dog tag pendant. There's like all different kinds. But like I would go to like my chiropractor. That's the kind of doctor I go to, like a kinesiologist, naturopath kind of a person. And I hadn't said anything to him about it, but I was wearing my pendant. And he's like, you know, trying to muscle test me because that's how they will kind of read what's weak in your body. And he's like, you're testing strong. You're testing too strong. He's like, what is that you're wearing? And I'm like, oh, hey, this strengthens my biofield. And he's like, well, you need to take it off because you're not even reading weak. And I'm like, isn't that amazing? Because I feel strong. Like I feel like Wonder Woman. And here you objectively are telling me I am actually stronger. And so fine, I take off my pendant and then he tests me or whatever. But I'm like, hey, since you noticed the difference, he's a bit negative, like, because he knows, you know, the dangers of like 5G, right? Cell phones, radiation, Wi-Fi, it's everywhere. And he's just like, you can't escape it. There's nothing you can do. It's just horrible. I'm like, there are always answers. God has always provided solutions. And so I'm like, well, hey, why don't you test me? Because I had cell phone protection on my phone. And so first of all, he was impressed, you know, with the phone on right in. So I was telling him, you know, there are solutions, there's ways to mitigate and neutralize the negative effects of EMFs because basically, you know, I think we're all kind of learning EMFs, they energetically offend us and our body is just like in fight or flight, like all the time. And we don't really recognize it. Some of us, it just makes us more tired. Some of us makes it more grumpy. Some of us get migraines, like all different things. And he's like, there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm like, well, test me. I've got my little Gia protection with the technologies. Let's see if this thing works. And with the skeptic, I was like excited to see what would happen. And he's like, oh my goodness. He said, you can have this like in your pocket, even that close to your body. He's like, you can have it all day long. You're not testing like you're strong, which I was very happy about. But he's like, well, that's not really good enough for him. He's like, well, let's test it on a call. He's like, you actually have to call me. So he literally made me call his office number. I'm on the phone and he's testing me and I'm still strong. And he couldn't believe it. And that wasn't good enough for him. He's like, you have to put it right up to your head. So I'm like, fine. So I'm literally talking and I'm still testing strong. But when it got really, really close to my head, okay, then I got a little bit weak. But then I'm like, wait, you took away my pendant. I'm like, give me back my pendant. So I put the pendant on and with the pendant and the cell phone protection, I was able to have this right up to my head and I wasn't testing weak. I was strong. So he was super, super impressed. And I love that because it just kind of demonstrates what dad was talking about, like the synergistic, the layered effect. Because sometimes people are like, well, why do I need something on my phone if I'm wearing a necklace? Or if I wear a necklace, do I need something on my phone? I'm like, well, we need it all. Like we just got, I don't know, a foot of snow today in Buffalo. Welcome to the winter wonderland that is upstate New York today. And when I went out in the snow, I did not just wear a coat. Oh, I put on a coat and a scarf and gloves and boots, right? I'm going to layer to protect me from what is coming at me. And so it is with the EMFs, okay? They are coming not just from my phone, but from your phone and everyone else's phones all around and all the things. And I'm just going to do everything I possibly can to have some like armor, like this little bubble of protection. So that's my experience with like the EMF protection and pendants. And I'll just share one more story because dad touched on the cleanse and oh my goodness, I just love the cleanse so much. Okay. Cause it's one of my favorite products from Gia because like dad, like I'm I'm hardcore into health. Like, and I was a vegetarian for like 15 years. I was a vegan for a couple years, but then my weight wasn't shifting. It wasn't where I wanted to be. So then I'm like doing keto. Okay, like completely opposite ends of the spectrum. My weight does not move a bit. And I'm just like, come on. And I'm eating like whole foods, organic. And I'm like, I could eat like this organic spinach salad and my stomach looks like, look like I'm pregnant or something. I'm like, this is horrible. I'm eating the best diet. Why is my body not happy with it? And so I had tried everything, like handfuls of probiotics, digestive enzymes, like all of the things. And then I finally, I'm like, well, let me try this cleanse. It's got like aloe, turmeric, ginger. It's like very healing things, but it's in the single file lined water, which means my body absorbs it 3 times better. And then it's got this whole energetic frequency that again, just makes my body love it. Okay. And so I'm like, oh, let me try. It literally changed my life. I mean, if I can say that, it did because it was so cooling and soothing and calming. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my stomach is flat in the morning and I eat food and it still stays flat. How amazing is that? And then like dad was talking about doing like a deeper cleanse and like I totally messed that up. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. I misread the directions. But by doing that, it was really a happy accident because I started losing weight. Like normal people, you're supposed to take like an ounce a day, right? And then I thought you were supposed to just do 4 ounces a day. So I started doing that. I just started taking 4 ounces a day of the cleanse and weight started falling off, which is not what weight does. I know that. But it was like I lost a pound a week for 12 weeks. I did not change my diet, although my diet was stellar. Okay. I did not change my working out, although I was working out, but this was like the missing piece to the puzzle. And I was like, holy cow. And it's really just cool why that is because you guys may have heard this, but it's like God actually designed fat to be like a protection. Like if we take in toxins and garbage, like pesticides and whatever is out there, well, God wants to protect our body. So our body will insulate that toxin in fat, that preservative, that whatever, in a fat cell. Okay, so then what is the cleanse doing? It is cleaning out all of the debris and toxins and pesticides and whatever that's in my body. Well, then the fat cell doesn't need to be there anymore. So then, the weight just went away. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is seriously happening. So I totally love it. It is by far the easiest way to cleanse or do a detox that I've ever done. I know in January, a lot of, we do like long-term fasting and I've done that before, but this like in just like one day of just fasting with the cleanse, it supercharges it and optimizes it. And you can get so many results in literally just a day or 2 a week. So I'm super excited to hear your guys' testimonies when you try these products. And I could go on and on for like a million more years telling you about all of the products, but I've invited some of my friends who I've shared the products with and they've had their own amazing results. So it's not just like me and dad, okay? It's like other people. So I would like to invite Miss Cindy Timmel. She's also in upstate New York with me. She's right down the street. There you are, my dear. Please share about Gia and the results that you and your family have been experiencing.
Thank you, Charity, and thank you and Dr. Mark for starting me on my wellness journey. And I'm so grateful. I'm just beyond grateful. So my story is really interesting, and I'm really happy that I can share this with you. So for a couple of years, I was actually looking for a way to make water more active and alive because yes, I had my water filtered and all those terrible things that they put in water, that man put in water, is now taken out, but I knew the water was dead. It doesn't have any energy. It's not the way that God intended it. So how do I make my water alive and active? And how do I protect myself from electromagnetic radiation and all these terrible snowstorm of 24/7 that we're experiencing all the time with everything coming at us that Charity explained so well? So what do I do to protect myself? Well, it was interesting. I spent about 2 years looking for the answer, and I was at a health fair a little over a year ago, and that's when I first met Charity. And she's talking to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for. Like, I can't believe this. This is what I've been looking for. And I said, okay, can you send me some stuff? Can you send me some more stuff? Because I want to research. Can you send me some more? I want the scientific stuff. So I'm spending 2 weeks before Christmas, and I'm researching this. And I go to my husband, who's a bit of a skeptic, and you'll hear more about Brian a little bit. He said, yeah, it sounds really good. Let's get it. So I ordered the gold package, and it came to my house January 10th. So we're talking like a year ago. And I was so excited. So I made the water and I drank the water. I put the pendant on. I put the home harmonizer in my bedroom. And I'm just going to tell you what I was like before that. Unbeknownst to me, I had a smart meter in my home. And when I called the utility company, they insisted that I didn't, but I did. And I had been experiencing pain. And I was just looking back at my journal. I completely forgot. Like my left knee was so bad, like that week before Christmas, like I couldn't even walk on it. Like I couldn't even like scrub my floors. It was like awful. And my right hip was hurting. I couldn't sleep at night. I was tossing and turning every time I slept in that house. And it's like, I'm not old. I'm not going to be experiencing aches and pains. So here it is, January 10th, a year ago. I drink the water, put the pendant on, the home harmonizer in the bedroom. I went to bed that night and I slept so good. I didn't toss and turn. I didn't have any aches and pains. I woke up the next day and I'm like, this is transformational. This is life changing. I can't believe how much difference these products work. It was night and day, and I would never look back again. It was just something that I've now embraced, this wellness journey that I'm going to be going forward. I'm never going to go backwards. And it's interesting because, you think, well, are these things, do they really work? Well, I had mistakenly, taken my pendant off and I didn't put it back on, and I didn't know I didn't put it back on. And this was about 2 weeks later. And that night, I'm like, wait a minute, how come my hips are hurting? Like, I shouldn't be experiencing pain. What's going on? And I get up the next morning, there's my pendant on the dining room table. Ah, okay, I took it off. That's why I wasn't protected. So it does work great to have all of these projects in layers, like Charity explained. So on to my wonderful husband, Brian, who is a bit of a skeptic, and it's okay to be a doubting Thomas. It's okay, and he's that way. And we got the products, and he's not too sure about them yet because he hasn't really tried them, but he did notice a taste difference in the water. He said, "Well, the water's not thick anymore; it's smooth and silky." He goes, "Of all the Gia products, the water is the one that's the most tangible." You could absolutely tell by tasting. It's so different than this, the structured water versus, the stuff that just comes right out of your filter. It's totally different. So he was not a water drinker before. He would drink soda pop and the sports drinks. None of them are healthy for you. And now he loves the water. That's all that we drink. And it makes such a difference. And it's given us such energy, both of us, that we're able to accomplish more in life. And it was this kind of a funny story. This past summer, we had some friends come over and they had been there in a few years. And they're like, well, when did you do this? And he goes, well, this past summer. Well, when did you do this past summer? Well, when did this happen? Well, this past summer. And it was funny because she's looking at my husband and she's looking at her husband and she's thinking, wait a minute, if my husband drinks this much water, will he have more energy too? And it's just amazing. We had stuff that was on our to-do list for 3 and 4 years that never got done. And this summer, check, check, check. And the fact is that we really have more energy and we can accomplish more in life. So to give you a couple of testimonies about my husband, he has a lot of chronic pain, and he really loves all the products. But I want to start with the pendant story first. So we were going in a hot tub this summer, and he saw me take the pendant off before I went in the hot tub, and he goes, "Oh, I haven't taken my pendant off in 6 months." He goes, "I think I'll take it off. I'll just take it off my head." And he hands it to me, and I looked at his face, and it was ashen. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he says, "I don't feel right. Like something is missing. Like I feel kind of, I don't know, I feel anxious. I feel kind of discombobulated." I said, "Do you want your pendant back?" And he said, "Yes, I do." So I gave him the pendant back and he put it back on and the color came back to his face. I said, "How do you feel now?" He goes, I feel calm." He says, "I was starting to feel anxious. I can't believe the difference I felt. It was off of me for 2 minutes." And he says, "I feel so much stronger now." And there is the tangible result. When that pendant is on, your biofield is strengthened because everything is heading us, all the stress from home and work and family and life. And when you wear the pendant, it just strengthens that biofield and it gives you this peace and calm. And it was like, okay, I have my husband back. So that was wonderful. So the chronic pain that I said that he experiences, he wears a lot of the sleeves and they help him tremendously, tremendously. But I heard of a little trick about a month ago, and he's tried that, and it has just been phenomenally wonderful for him. So we have this smart card, which actually is supposed to put good energy into food and drinks. And I heard that, if you stick that in your back pocket, so he puts that in the back jean pocket of his pants, it can take away some discomfort. And he has chronic hip pain. He put the smart card in his back jean pocket. Within 5 minutes, that discomfort went away. I was like, wow. So now you can enjoy life. So here's the summary of it. So Gia helps us not just with physical um, wellness, but it also affects us emotionally and mentally. And so it's kind of like turning the clock back. So both of us look and feel like 20 years younger than we really are. And we just have a greater, abundance and joy in life. We're able to get more things done. And we don't have the aches and pains that we used to have. We've almost forgotten that we've had those aches and pains like a year ago. Like it's only been 1 year and the difference has been so profound. And I'm so grateful to Gia. I'm so grateful that I could share my testimony with you today. And my passion, like Charity, is to share this wellness with everybody else because I shouldn't be hiding the good that I have, the wellness that I'm experiencing under a bushel basket. I want to share it with everybody else. So I just really appreciate your inviting me to talk tonight and to listen to my story. So thank you.
Awesome, Cindy. Yay for you and Brian. I love your Brian stories. Oh my goodness, the husband, the skeptic. Yes, ma'am. That was so good. That was so good. And now she's on the East Coast with me. Now I want to fly us right across the country to Miss Deb Richardson. She has become a good friend. She is out in Camano Island in Washington State. Could you please share a little bit about your experience with Gia and what it's done for you?
I would love to. Say, my story started back in the spring of 2024 when I was struggling with dehydration problems. I was having leg cramps, consistent thirst, even after drinking like 70 or 80 ounces of water. I was trying all kinds of electrolytes, supposed to be healthy electrolytes, and nothing was working. Well, then I got introduced to the eye water. And once I began drinking this water, excuse me, I was getting the proper hydration. The leg cramps went away. I wasn't thirsty anymore. A lot of other things. I should say my plumbing got better. I'll leave it at that. My desire for food was less. The snacking and cravings, hunting down the house, see what I could find to eat, went away. I'm just looking at I have so many things I could say. I was waking up an hour earlier, realized that I wasn't finishing my cup of coffee in the morning. That desire went way down. One of the fun things I like to share is that I use eye water to water my Christmas tree. And so I put my Christmas tree up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving and usually take it down the 1st of January, the first Saturday usually. And the first time I did this, I took it down and I'm like, holy cow. It was still bouncy and just as alive as when I bought it in November. And I took a video of it because I knew nobody would believe me. And just ask any of my friends who have seen it. It's amazing. If I know that eye water is doing that to that tree, plus seeing that blood analysis work that Mark showed us, yeah, I know it's doing something in my body. I could go on and on with what's happened with me, but I want to tell you one of the funny stories is when I did start with Gia, I bought the gold pack. And in that gold pack is iThrive is one of the items. And I told Charity, I says, right from the start, I do not need your iThrive. I have one of the best powdered supplements that is great and working for me, so I won't be using that. But I used the bottle that I had. Well, the next month, about 3 weeks in, I'm noticing, wow, where in the world did that energy go? So I had to go back to her, eat humble pie, and say, okay, I'm changing my nutritional supplement to Gia. But that wasn't the only humble pie that I had to eat. Because as I was enjoying my water and my iThrive and walking around with my blue bottle, friends were asking me what the heck was in my bottle. So I had to share with them. And as they learned and saw what happened to me, they started joining my team. And I noticed about 7 months in, it's like, oh, I guess I could do this as a business. Because even from the very time that I started and got my package, I wasn't doing business. I was just sharing with friends. And I have had a check from Gia every single month since I started. And I wasn't even doing the business. As though I thought. And I went back and looked, and it took me about 7 months. Within 7 months, or just about the time I wanted to start doing the business, I had already paid for my gold pack. So I don't know what to tell you guys, except you need to get on the train, get on the train. I am so thankful for how it's changed my life, both not only physically, but also Gia's become my family.
Oh, thank you, Deb. We feel the same about you. It was awesome. There was a Gia conference and we all flew in from all over. And so we have met in person, gave real hugs in person. So
Yep.
thank you so much for sharing, Deb. And I've seen the video of her Christmas tree too, and it's so awesome. So yay, that is a very fun testimony. Thank you. And let's see, let's come back to Miss, oh my goodness, Dr. Charlotte. She is a good friend and she is just coming home from work, but she wanted to be on to share her story. So bless her heart. Dr. Charlotte, take it away. What is your experience with Gia?
Everybody, yes, coming live from the car. And like Charity said, we got all of the snow, so I've been like inching and taking it slow home. So I said, before I go in, I'm just gonna pop in. So yeah, so I'll come from a different angle. You know, everybody's been talking about their personal experiences. I can go on and on about all of the great benefits. I was very much like, I drink a lot of water. Charity, what is this water that you're talking about? So I'll share one of mine. One of the struggles that I had is I would like get up to pee all night. Like, oh, I should every single night, right? Struggles with that. And so I went to Charity's house for dinner. If you've never been to Charity's house for dinner, it'll totally change your life because King Leo cooks like you would never believe, right? So I went to this like really great dinner with them. We're talking and I'm drinking like this eye water. Like I drink like maybe like 4 or 5 glasses of this water, get home, go to bed. And I noticed like I didn't get up once to pee, like not one time. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. So that made me hop on board. But I'll share stories about, excuse me, my mom, my grandmother, and my sister. I'll start with my grandmother. So my grandmother, because this is like one of my favorite stories. My grandmother,
Oh, wait a sec. We didn't quite hear the last section. We just lost you. Tell us about how old is your grandmother again? That's where we lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
That's good. Yes. Awesome.
Okay. So
Perfect.
my grandmother now, she's 85. So at the time, I don't know if this was last year or the year before, so 83, 84, right? She's just accepted, like, you know, I slept wrong. I got this crick in my neck. I'm in all of this pain. And so I'm like, I wonder if one of these Gia products will work for her. So I got a Smart Circle, and I'm like, Granny, I'm just going to put this on your neck, like, go to bed and just, like, let me know how you feel. So, and it actually wasn't even late. I put it on her neck, and I would say, like, maybe 10 minutes later, she's, like, in the kitchen, like, turning her neck. And I'm like, do you notice what you're doing? She's like, oh, my goodness. So she slept with it. The next day, she, like, felt so incredible. Then I'm, like, giving her the eye water, right? She's not a water drinker. She loves Pepsi. That's her thing, whatever. But I got her drinking this water, and I had her drinking the iThrive. And she's like, I have so much energy. Like, I cleaned my kitchen today. I cleaned my bathroom today. I went out And now I'm like still not tired. She had like no pain. And so it was like really great, like just how like in a couple of days, like she felt so good. Like she was able to turn her neck, right? After 10 minutes of having a circle on. And then she had all of this energy. So the challenge with her is reminding her to take this stuff. So she'll call me and say, oh, I just don't feel good. I'm like, have you drank your water? Have you taken your I Have you done? Oh, I'm going to do it. So it's been really great for her. I'll tell Sarah a story about my sister. Actually, last year when we were in California for the awesome GIA conference, my sister had like the flu really bad. She was like back and forth to the hospital. They're like giving her 3 or 4 bags of IV. Like she was seriously dehydrated. She couldn't even stand up to take a shower. Like people had to help her shower. She's younger than me. So she was like, is this like my time to go? Am I like about to check out and die? Right. So it was really bad. And so she's like sharing all of this with me, like while I'm away. And so when I got back, I said, when I get back, I'm going to bring you some eye water and I'm going to bring you some iThrive because we're going to snap this back together. So literally she had just got back from the hospital. She couldn't keep water down. Like every time she would take a sip of water, it was being upchucked quickly. Get to her house and I give her like a cup of eye water. Didn't vomit. No, nothing, no issues. And I said, I want you to just drink this water and I want you to incorporate this iThrive. And I said, I believe, as a believer, in 3 days, you're going to be back tip top shape. The next day she calls me. She's like, I just got out the shower and I cooked myself breakfast. She was not able to do that by herself. So it literally just rehydrated her and got her back into the place that she needed to be. And so by day 3, it was awesome for her. Like she felt like she was on the top of the world. She's a drummer. So because she had to cancel her gigs because she wasn't even able to stand. So she couldn't play the drums. She couldn't do anything. And so she was like, oh, guess what? Now I could go to my gig because I feel so much better. So that's the story with my sister. And and she became a believer, and now she, she got herself a manager pack and still uses the product. And let me just tell you, while the iThrive was out of stock, right? Like she's calling me every day, like, is it back? What's going on? I'm like, it'll be back soon. But as soon as she got the email, she's like, I ordered my stuff. I cannot live without this iThrive. Last story, my parents were just really sick. Like, I don't know what it's been like all around the country, but we've just had like this really like crazy like flu bug. Like people have been getting really sick and just like, I feel like I'm about to die. I've heard that from several people. So both my parents were really sick. And my dad at first, he's like, oh, it's just sinuses. There's no issues. I'm like, Dad, have you been drinking the water? Nope. Have you been taking an iThrive? Nope. And so I'm like, get back on your water. Drink the water, take the iThrive and see what happens and let me know what happens. My mom calls me the next day like, I feel incredible. I have been feeling sick for 2.5 weeks, but now I feel incredible. So that just takes it from like when you are really dealing with sickness in your body, because I think the perspective that we've been taking is like most people have been kind of healthy, having like some aches and pains, but from like a sickness, illness perspective, how it snaps you back within a couple of days and you get your life back. And I think for me, that's just one of the beautiful things about GIA, because people feel like they get their life back. I get to live again. And so it's just been incredible. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Awesome. That was amazing. I love it. It's not just her, right? It's her grandma, it's her parents, it's her sister. I mean, we're talking like her whole entire family. Their lives are changed. And I love the point that she brought out at the end. I mean, yes, it's awesome that, the people in Chernobyl didn't get cancer. So we can prevent really big things, right? But if we can prevent colds and flu, because it's like antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, that's what the science shows. Oh my goodness, we do get our life back because all of those sick days, we don't have to go to the hospital. We don't have to stay home in bed. So that is so good. We're just rejoicing with you. Oh my goodness. I would like to ask now Miss Karen Knott if she would share just how she was first introduced, what got her to pay attention to GIA, and maybe her favorite testimony.
All right. Thanks, Charity. And hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying. I never get tired of hearing all these amazing testimonials. And I will say that I came to GIA many, many years ago, not even knowing what I needed. Someone in my family was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it came to us very suddenly. She'd been sick for a long time. Nobody could figure out what was wrong. So we happened to be sitting in the emergency or the surgery room of a major hospital here in the Los Angeles area. And the doctor came in, and because for a year we'd been trying to figure out what was wrong, there was 100 questions being asked of him because she was having emergency surgery that morning. And he just said, somebody asked the question that put me here today on this Zoom. Was she born with this? What do you think caused this brain tumor? And he said he didn't know, but to get those phones away from your head. And that was probably almost 20 years ago or so. So when we think about just he knew back then, and for those of us that are old enough to remember, this gentleman happened to have been on the cover of Time magazine twice because people come from all over the world for his expertise as a neurosurgeon. So we took it seriously, and that put me on the path to learn everything I could about EMFs and look for the protection that my family needed. That was all I was looking for, was protection for EMF. And when I found GIA and that it was patented and scientifically validated, I fell in love with the company, and I've been with it ever since. So it truly has been this life journey for me. And now when we look at what, the level of the environmental toxin of all of it today, we need that protection more than ever. And I think just to hear all these stories of how it's changed people's lives. But I'm going to quickly jump to something else and then let you move on. But I have one of my favorite stories. I am one of those people, the water is life changing. But if you ask me, because I've been drinking it since the day it was offered to us, I don't think I had the aches and pains. So I didn't have the miracle story that some of these stories you're hearing. I just thought I knew the science. I knew it was good for me. I knew my body was being better hydrated, and I drank it. But when you look at decades later, and I can say that I can actively participate with all my grandkids and be really active, and I haven't, none of those issues that normally come with aging have settled in on me. I attribute it to just a constant influx of GIA products into my life have kept me well and kept me moving. And so I just want to say, on my automatic reorder, every month of the world is the iThrive that you're hearing about, is the cleanse, and is the edge. And so the nutritionals, I think, are life-changing. And that's something like, even if you can't get a whole entire package, I guarantee you, if you get on these nutritionals for 3 months, your life will be completely different. And I think you're hearing the iThrive stories through the flu season and what it is. But I just want to really quickly share about my oldest daughter was really sick. This is many years ago, and had been to 3 different doctors, and they all gave her antibiotics, but nobody knew what was wrong with her. And I begged her, please go to my naturopath. And she did. And he diagnosed her in that first visit, kind of like with Mark, with heavy metal, mercury poisoning, and pesticide poisoning, and put her on a really strict detox diet. And she would see him every 6 weeks. And the numbers, I can't remember exactly, but let's say her toxicity level was 90. 6 weeks later, it was 82. 6 weeks later, it was in the 70s. And I thought, well, she's getting better, but she's going to be bankrupt probably by the time she gets better. And then GIA released the cleanse. The cleanse was a new product, and it was part of a weight management line at the time. And so she decided she was going to do their weight management program, and which is more of the detox, the bigger detox that we've talked about. And she went back to the naturopath after 6 weeks, and he kept looking and looking and checking. And the bottom line is her toxicity level had gone to 0 in those last 6 weeks where she was on the cleanse, doing the serious cleanse 2 days a week. And he was like, what are you doing? And she told him, she said, well, this is the only thing I'm doing different. I'm doing this weight loss program. And he said, no, that can't be it. And so he said, let me see it. And she said, well, I don't have it, but she had her cup in the car, and he has a strange way of doing all of his amazing testing. And he tested it, and he actually came on with the company within the week. He was like, I got to talk to your mom. She said, well, you got to talk to my mom. Ask your mom. I don't know about it. So he talked to me, and he did come on board because he said he'd never seen anything like it. So I think that all the products are result driven and life changing. So come join us.
Yay! Thank you, Karen. Oh my goodness. I love that story about Jody, your daughter. Yeah, to have the naturopath, again, objectively, someone on the outside saying, look, your numbers are totally changed. And Hallelujah. Thank you, God, for your gifts of healings. That's what it's about. So, okay, the very last testimony, we could go on all night with testimonies, and I know it's everybody's favorite part. The last person I'm going to invite to share is Miss Aliciana. She joined us from Arizona. So please share with us your experiences with iWater and the other Gia products.
Okay. So I first came across Gia actually on a class that Charity was teaching. And funny enough, as God would have it, the name of the class was Answered Prayers. And so she wasn't actually trying to talk about Gia, just somebody asked a question and it just all lined up and my ears perked up because of the person's story and because I heard the word water. And the reason this was a big deal is because I have a teenage daughter who has it's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and she also has POTS. And actually, a few of us in the family have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but my youngest child is the most affected. And so these conditions, they chronically dehydrate us continuously. And my daughter her quality of life was super affected. When I say super affected, I mean a kid who couldn't really laugh because if she laughed too hard, it could send us to the ER. She was developing gastroparesis because her whole entire system was shutting down and had fluid around her heart because of such chronic dehydration. And so, after years of being on this journey and kind of like working with doctors and also kind of being our own doctors too, because a lot of they didn't know what was going on, they put her on IV hydration that we were showing up to 3 times a week. It was really like almost having a full-time job because of going to these centers and rough road. But anyway, so I heard water and I instantly started researching Gia. And I researched Gia for 6 weeks because I was about the science and about learning and but I had to look into it. And so I reached out to Charity and purchased the iWater system. I got cell guards, I got home harmonizers, I got all that good stuff. Well, in a very short period of time, we were able to reduce my daughter's IV hydration trips from 3 times a week to 2 times a week, which was a very big deal. They noticed at the hydration center, another thing this condition can do is your vitals will be just all over the place, your heart rate, your blood pressure. They started to notice that when we would show up in between hydration sessions, her vitals would maintain balanced, which was another battle, getting her from one hydration session to the next. And so I started noticing the effects of eye water. My daughter also had a pendant. She has that. We had the cell guards on. And we just, it was just incredible the impact that this water was starting to have. And so I took a trip to Florida with my kiddo, decided we were going to have this big trip to Florida. It was kind of a do-over because we tried to take a trip to Florida to go to the Disney Animal Kingdom one year, and it was horrible. We ended up in the emergency room. My daughter's body was just a disaster. We spent several hours at Disney in absolute tears, which is not how your Disney trip should be going. But it was so bad. Myself on the trip, I had constant migraines, constant nausea myself. It was rough. And so here's our do-over. And we're like, okay, we've got iWater on board and we've got Edge on board, and we're going to do this. Incredible flight. Neither one of us had migraines. Neither one of us had nausea. We spent 5 days at Disney, and this child who would have a difficult time laughing was able to go on roller coasters, on rides. We spent 11 hours at Epic Universe, and it was fine. The next day, we went to downtown Disney and she was dancing at the concerts there. I mean, it was just the most incredible thing. We came all the way back home. She did fantastic. We went to her infusion a couple days after that. Her vitals were normal, her vitals were healthy. It was the most life-changing experience. My daughter looked at me and said, Mom, this gives me such hope. She's like, I thought I'd never be able to do something like this. And so it was truly incredible. Just, these products they're just amazing. Some other things that we've gone through, well, actually, to bounce over to my parents, it's impacted my parents as well. It has helped with they've kind of struggled with blood pressure issues throughout the years, and it's helped balance out their vitals on that end. So they've been really surprised. My mom also had the comment of, because she's not a water drinker, but with eye water, she became a water drinker and she can like feel the texture difference. She's like, this water is so much easier to drink. And so that's been fun too, to watch that. Um, and so let's see here. Um, it's impacted my dog. My dog, very sensitive GI. He would just literally be sick every single day. He would vomit, and we couldn't figure out what is going on with this little guy. And so I did the little eye water test where I put out a bowl of regular, like on non-activated water and a bowl of activated water, and my dog would constantly go to this activated water. And within a couple of weeks, my dog wasn't like vomiting every single day. And I know that, one of the things with eye water is just it helps with the pH in the tummy. And I think that he just had this issue. And so it's helped him, which was really fun. I've had stomach issues for years. Doctor couldn't figure out what was going on, had me on all sorts of stomach meds for acid, all these different issues. And within 2 weeks of being on the eye water, I suddenly noticed I didn't have the discomfort in my stomach anymore. And I went to the GI doctor because I had actually been scheduled for some testing. And I thought, well, I don't know. She's asking me questions, and I'm like, well, I don't have the symptoms I did when I was scheduling the appointment, but let's see what's going on. And so I woke up from the procedure, and doctor's like, I don't see anything going on with your stomach. Your stomach looks fine. And I haven't had any issues with that anymore. Like other people have mentioned on cleanse, I noticed during the holidays, actually, my daughter-in-law noticed. She's like, she saw me after not seeing me a couple of months, and she's like, you've lost some weight. And I'm thinking, I don't think so. I haven't been doing anything. I haven't been dieting. It's actually the holidays. I'm eating not good. And so I got curious after the holidays and I got on the scale and I had lost 10 pounds. And the only thing that I was doing was taking cleanse on a regular basis. And so that was pretty incredible. I'm sure kind of cleansing all the toxins out of my body with the eye water too was a huge deal. Um, I had a hip replacement. I know I have so many different stories, but I had a hip replacement recently. And one of the things that was absolutely incredible for me, which was just like instantaneous, I started using the iThrive product. And right before I had started using it, I had been suffering from just horrible restless leg syndrome. Like it was just something that started happening to me after surgery, and it was uh, it was just so uncomfortable. I couldn't sit to watch TV. My legs would hurt. It was just, I didn't know what to do. And the doctor wanted to put me on medication, which I just decided I didn't want to do that. So I tried iThrive. I wasn't thinking about my legs at all. I just received my order and I thought I'm going to do iThrive. All I noticed a few days later, I'm like, wait, when was the last time that I experienced discomfort while I'm sitting down watching TV? And so I realized that I started taking iThrive and I no longer struggled with trying to keep my legs still or the discomfort while I'm like sitting there. I wasn't irritable anymore because my legs felt so much better. And kind of a funny thing, the other day I forgot to take my iThrive and I knew it because it came evening time when I was watching a movie, I started to feel uncomfortable again. And so I immediately got up and took my iThrive, and to my surprise, once again, it helped. So I got huge relief. Um, Another product that I cannot speak enough of, the guards and the pendant. My daughter and I, because of our condition, and we're lucky enough to notice these effects right away. We get impacted by the frequencies that are happening from LED lights at times. The Apple Store was like our worst enemy. If we were in the Apple Store for more than just like 5, 10 minutes, we start to feel nauseated. We'd get these like really, really red cheeks. We'd get migraines. We'd get antsy. We just felt like we suddenly had a flu come on. And so, ever since getting the pendant, we've noticed that we can be in there a lot longer and we're fine. We're not leaving feeling miserable. I had bought a tablet there that my daughter and I could not use. We would get migraines very quickly and our faces would start to heat up. The first day I put the guard on that tablet, we could use our tablet for hours and no problems whatsoever. And so it really has made a huge difference. And to watch my kid be positively impacted the way she has been incredible. Her cardiologist was so excited to see the impact that it was having on her life that he asked me to bring in information and pamphlets so that he can hand out to the other children that he takes care of. So it's been a huge deal, big blessing. And I'm so grateful for Gia and Charity and Dr. Verkler. I really appreciate you guys.
Oh my goodness. Aliciana, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is when your cardiologist notices something going on. Come on, you know you have something good. And I love the dog story, right? Because that's the dogs aren't making up their testimony. If you put eye water down for an animal or regular water, they always go to the eye water. They intuitively, instinctively know. So that was super fun to hear. Your testimonies of you and your daughter are life-changing. So we are rejoicing with you. So I know what we want to do. At the end, we're going to have a time of Q&A because I know you guys probably have some different questions about things, and we've got our resident Gia experts here who can help answer. But the biggest question I know that is on everybody's mind is price. Like, how much does this stuff cost? So that's the first question that I just kind of want to go over with you guys. And there's a few different ways to get the products. You can get them at retail, but don't do that because you're on this Zoom. Reach back to whoever invited you to take a look at this video and just ask them how to join. Join with them because they can hook you up with, as a preferred customer, there's discounts, or even as a consultant, if you're the type of person who would share with others if you get results. And that's kind of the biggest discounts. And so we're just going to look at some of the least expensive ways to get the most amount of products to give you an idea of what's available. But again, reach back to whoever invited you. Dad, do you want to do a screen share and bring up, there's different price points. So wherever you're at. So this is kind of the big premiere. This is like the family package. This is everything. It gets you the most amount of products, the gold package, which, several of these testimony givers shared. That's what they had gotten. So it's like $3,600 worth of products, ton of stuff, regularly discounted to $2,400. But right now for the rest of the month, it's just $2,158. So it's basically 40% all of these things. So it's a really, really good time if you are thinking of investing in your health to do it. Not only will you get a big discount off your initial order, but you'll actually be set up to get 30 to 40% off every order you place for an entire year. And if then you share it with other people, you're actually set up for like the maximum amount of commissions possible. So that's why a lot of people love to get this package. The nice thing is these are obviously US prices. We are available in other countries, and we can get you pricing specifically on that. There are payment plans available. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. So like Dad said, you can just try everything, see if your life isn't changed, right? And if it is, great. If not, you get your money back. So it's like no risk at all, which I love that they stand behind their products. So we'll just kind of go over some of these, that's everything. But Dad, if you want to actually come back to me and I'll do a little bit of a show and tell. So this is your activator, lasts 39 years, right? If you make a pitcher a day. So that's like the main big thing you totally want, everybody wants, right? And you don't just get the activator, you get like a glass bottle. Okay. They send you spray bottles because you can apply it topically as well. So like things like skin conditions, like Dad's the rash on his arm. You get a few of these to apply for anything and everything. Spray, spray, spray. I was just on vacation, hiking through rainforest. I got all kinds of bug bites and scratches, and I just spray, spray, spray. And it's like you can't even see it. It's like totally gone. So that's the eye water. And that's in all of the packages. And then the cell guards. This is kind of the other thing everybody talked about. This is what goes on your phone. This is my husband's phone case. Okay, it's just a little sticker. All right, and you put it on the outside of any phone case, and it works. It mitigates and neutralizes the negative effects of radiation. And for this gold package, you actually get 4 because you have at least 4 cell phones in your family, most likely. So you want several of them. You also get the pendant. This is what it looks like. This is the gold version. You'll get a silver, 2 silver versions. The gold one, you just, you earn it. It's free. I got this from earning it, but you will get 2 of the silver kind. It's perfect for like men or women. So husband and wife, mother, daughter, or you can get one and share it with others. So you get 2 of those in the gold package. A lot of people were sharing the testimonies about the pendant. Just brings calm. And then you get universal guards, okay? There are so many wireless devices. This is what it looks like. This is a wireless speaker, okay? You're going to get a bunch of these to put. You'll get like 4 of them to put. You put them on your Wi-Fi routers. You put them on your laptops. If you use a microwave, you put them on there, okay? Anything and everything that's wireless. And you want a bunch of them, and you get a bunch of them. But then you want this. This is like a pendant for your house. You'll get a couple of these. This is a home harmonizer. It just plugs into the wall. It will address dirty electricity, and it just creates an energetically harmonious environment. So put it in the rooms that you spend the most time, and it radiates out, even like through the walls. It's energy. So plug it in your bedroom, your home office. You'll get a couple of those. And then obviously when you leave the house, you're in your car. So you have a little car harmonizer, okay? And so obviously as you drive down the road, there's all of the cell phone towers, there is the GPS, there's all the navigation. You want a little bubble of protection. And so this is layered, and then you put it in your pocket or your purse, and you're carrying it around with you, even when you go into the, stores or wherever. So that's awesome. And you saw that you had the stickers, the bigger, stickers for your phones, your Wi-Fi routers, but for your tiniest devices. Oh, look at these little tiny baby little mini slivers. It's the stickers. They go on your earbuds. They go on your hearing aids. They go on your smartwatches. These are wireless devices that are on our body that are just jarring us into fight or flight, which we want to address. Then, okay, everybody has talked about the cleanse. This is the amazing, awesome cleanse. Tastes delicious. You just take a capful a day. Okay, this gets the junk out. This gets the good stuff in. This is the I Thrive. So many people feel so much more energy on this because it's so much nutrition, so bioavailable. You just take a capful of each of these a day. This is a month's supply. Pour it in your eye water. Yum. Tastes amazing. You'll feel amazing. And then, as much as I love the cleanse, this is my favorite supplement from Gia, Edge. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's recovering naturally from stress and muscle fatigue. So it's like they say to take it like before you have a stressful situation, like, or you're working out, because it helps your body not get sore and to recover faster. But I have found personally, it is not just physical stress. It's like emotional stress, psychological, mental stress of living on planet Earth. I like take this every single day, whether I'm working out or not, because I'm just like, it just calms me down. I am like more peaceful and joyful and patient. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like the fruit of the spirit in a bottle right here. Okay, I'm a better person on the other side of this. So I never, ever run out of this. That is my favorite. You get a whole month's supply. Okay, and then, as if that's not enough, these were the last products I ever tried with Gia, and I can't believe I didn't ever get them sooner. but they're amazing. It's their skincare. Okay, Radiance Fluid. My skin is like so sensitive. It would be really red and dry, or else you put stuff on and it's like greasy and oh, my skin loves this. Okay, there's a serum, there's a fluid. You can mix them together. It hydrates from the inside out, right? And that's what people, so many testimonies, a lot of times people who haven't seen, people who've started on Gia products, like, oh my goodness, what did you do? Did you get like a facelift? Because you are now a grape and not a raisin. What's the difference between a grape and a raisin? Hydration. So we are hydrating our faces, our skin, and you even with this big package, oh my gosh, you get the exfoliator. Okay, this is awesome. It's gentle. It feels amazing. It's so soft when you're done. Just use it like once or twice a week. And then this is like their newest product, which is my favorite of all of the skincare. It's the night repair. And I don't just use it at night. I use it during the day. I use it whenever because it's like so creamy and luxurious. And I mean, it's all got all the stuff in it. We're talking like the single file lined water and then all of these botanicals and nutrition. It's like food for your face. So it's awesome. You want to get it. And all of this stuff is included. Plus, you get like the membership fee for a whole entire year as a consultant, and you get your own affiliate website for an entire year. It is included. So if you are interested in that, you can get that. And if you're not interested in being a consultant, then you can get a package like as a preferred customer, and that's different pricing. But again, reach out to whoever invited you to the webinar and they can hook you up. But Dad, if you want to go back to that screen share again, and we'll just quickly, I'm not going to kind of show you all the products. Now you've seen them. That's like the master package that has like all of the goodness in it. And then if we scroll down, but there are some other choices, different price points, which is awesome. So then there's a silver package. It's like $2,200 of retail value. But right now, for the next 2 weeks, they've got this big sale. It's only $1,305. So that's awesome. It again sets you up for the biggest discounts for a whole year, 30 to 40% off. You are set up to receive commissions, not as much as with the gold pack, but still that's awesome. And there are monthly payment plans for this as well. So we can just kind of scroll down this page and you get the eye water system. That's the most important and you get it. I feel the second most important thing is the pendant. You get that. You don't get two like you do with the gold pack, you get one. And CellGuard slivers, those are for your phone. You don't get four like with the gold pack, but you get two. So that's great. The universal guard, you got four with the other package, you get two. So that's great. Home harmonizer, you get one of those, which one is a good place to start. Okay. But the awesome thing is you are still getting your supplements. You're getting a month's supply of iThrive. You're getting a month's supply of Cleanse. You're getting a little bit smaller bottle. It's not a 30 count, it's a 12 count, but at least you can try my favorite supplement, the Edge. And you are at least getting one of the skincare products, the exfoliator, which is a great place to start. You are also getting that membership fee, your discounts locked in for a year, and an affiliate website for sharing. It gives you a whole entire back office to track your organization as you're building a team. So that's fun to use and have. And then the least expensive way to get the largest discount is a mini manager pack. And it's so awesome that this is discounted right now too, because it doesn't always get the extra discounts. It's already at such a savings, but it's $1,500 worth of products and it's only $900 right now, which is huge. You're set up for the biggest discounts going forward. You can earn commissions and you're getting kind of like the three key things, right? You're getting the water system, you're getting a sticker for your cell phone, and you're getting a pendant. You're getting one of each of those and your affiliate website for the year. So that's kind of the packages. And, maybe you just like, I just want to get a water system. Well, you'll see on the website, we're going to email out these package links to you so that you can just look at all this information. We're throwing a lot at you, but you can click on all the little links and see, and you'll see that the activator actually retails for like $979, just the activator alone, where right now you can get this whole mini package for $900. So it's a steal. You're getting so much extra. And I love that the sale, it's not like rushed. It goes all the way through February 2nd, all the way through the end of the month. So you can think about it, you can pray about it, do the research. We're going to email you out the replay of the recording. We're going to email you out Dad's PowerPoints if you want to look into the science more and these packages so you can take a look. But Dad, you can come back to me. So So yeah, and like we said, reach back to whoever invited you to the webinar to ask your questions, let them know what you want. And maybe you do just want an activator. We can help you with that, right? If you want to just start getting your iThrive and Cleanse, most people are already doing some type of vitamins, monthly. So if you want to switch over to this and just start somewhere with something to see results, let us, help you with that in this new year. And the email that we're sending out tomorrow with all the information, it's going to have our contact info in there. And if you even just click reply to the email with any questions, it'll come to me. So I'll be able to help assist you, but we'll show you kind of how to sign up, the steps, the different choices and options. But now we wanted to be respectful of people's time. We wanted to kind of do like 90 minutes. We've gone a little bit over. So if anybody needs to hop off now, we completely understand. This is kind of the presentation portion is taken care of now. But what I want to do, we want to open up for Q&A, and we're just going to go as long or as short as you guys have questions for. So it might wrap up in 2 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever you guys want. And I'm just going to introduce Miss Sue Johnson because she is going to spearhead this portion of it. Sue Johnson is the person who kind of taught me everything I know about Gia. She has been with the company for like 12 or 13 years. And she does this as her full-time job. So that's really awesome. She's very successful at it, and she has lots of experience and lots of stories. So I would just like to invite Sue to come on, and you can open up for Q&A or however you'd like to do it.
No, thank you, Charity. This has been absolutely fabulous and amazing. And being with the company for as long as I have been, I've heard all these stories prior to tonight, and hearing them again, I teared up. It goosebumps. I mean, did everybody else get, or grace bumps, we like to call them, don't we? Absolutely beautiful. So I just really want to applaud all of you for sharing your stories tonight. Great to hear them again. They are life-changing. But what's really interesting, I do want to mention a little bit of my own story, is that I didn't come to the company for the products. I had zero interest in what the water did or how the cell phones were. I just heard that I could make an additional income by sharing Gia with others. The person who introduced me to the company, I loved, I trusted. So I'm like, hey, this is good. If you're doing it, I can do it. So just let's get this ball in motion, right? I was in a position where I had just opened up my own bricks and mortar store. And in your first few years, as you know, it's a struggle. So we were desperate for additional income in my household. So when Gia walked in my door that one day through my friend, I thanked God above for bringing Gia, because I would have joined with any company that came to me. And I am so grateful because next month I celebrate my 14th anniversary with this beautiful company. Karen and I have known each other. I'm going to cry, Karen. I just love you to pieces. For those 14 years, we've become the best of friends, completely trust her. I would say the best friends I have in my life nowadays that I'm closest to, I have met in the last 14 years through Gia. I know Deb and Cindy that have been joining us in the last year as such, have become good friends and trustworthy and just part of my inner circle to some degree. You know what I mean? So this company is so much more than just products that are literally life-changing. And as Aliciana said, offering hope, that they definitely do. There's no two ways about it. But over time, my own passion became helping others have that hope, rediscover that hope, and helping people like Charity and Mark, who have grown into leaders in like such little time because their passion was so deep to share with all of you guys. So I really hope you've heard their stories tonight, hear their hearts, and reach out to us. We can help you do what we do. And if you have a sliver of wanting to share this with somebody else, join us, consultant, and we will help you develop yourself into another lovely leader with this company that will help change and give hope to so many other people. So with that, I do encourage you, if you have a question, Karen and I have, as I say, been doing this well over a decade. We don't know everything, but we sure do know a lot, and we do know where to find the answers of what we don't know. So we will get there. So I encourage you, if you want to maybe raise your hand or just unmute yourself and say hello, we'd be up. There we go. Hannah, we're going to start with you. That's exactly what I mean. Hannah, yes. Anna unmutes herself beautifully. Welcome, honey. How can we help?
Are there any testimonies or history of it helping people that are maybe near death because of tumors?
No, it will. Again, we don't make any medical claims, Karen. I'm going to ask you to unmute because you do this so much more gracefully than I do. I'm going to hand that one over to Karen, as I say, because
And
she's
I'm
just
sorry,
beautiful with
Hannah,
these.
I didn't hear the last part of your question about tumors. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, are there any stories of people that had tumors that went away because they used it? Or when?
As Sue said, we do want to be really careful, but what I will tell you is per Dr. Smirnoff, who holds our patents, there is a video somewhere where he says that the eye water inhibits cancer cell growth by 52%, I believe is the number he uses. And I really think it's more about putting the body into a place where our bodies are designed to heal if we give our bodies what it needs. So I think it's about getting water in there that is not only antibacterial and antifungal, but it gives us the ability to fight off whatever's coming at us. So that's probably the best number I can give you, is something directly from the patent holder that is from a cancer perspective, 52% it inhibits cancer cell growth.
Yeah. And I would like to add to that too, Hannah, that the one thing I have learned, because I'm definitely not a scientific expert or a health expert as such in any fashion, I've learned what I've learned over a decade. And I have learned that cancer can't survive in a hydrated cell.
It
Gia
can.
offers a unit that makes single file, it activates water to become single file aligned. And it therefore then put your dots together, that type of thing. There is more than just having the water, though. I mean, depending on the tumor, and I'm assuming it's what we're talking about, there are so many other factors that need to come on board as well, like eliminate the sugar from the diet. You don't want to feed it while we're helping it, right? So there's a lot to go into that. And when you reach out to us to see where you're at with things, we can go more. Karen?
I was just going to say thank you, Deb, for holding up the book, The Truth About Cancer. I don't know if that's something you're familiar with, Hannah, but we were the only company featured on the documentary, The Truth About Cancer, 2 times, one for the water and one for the EMF protection. So if you're familiar with Ty Bollinger and The Truth About Cancer, that really changed Gia's imprint on the world, because Ty Bollinger said that, this is all he would use. So,
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Great question, Hannah. Thank you. I encourage others. Anyone else have a question? iPhone, nice to meet you. That's adorable. If you'd like to unmute yourself, that would be great. You may have to touch the screen so it brings up the mute button. And Christine, will come to you right after we figure out this iPhone. So, Mr. or Mrs. iPhone, what you need to do is touch your phone, and you should get either the top or the bottom somewhere where you can unmute and mute. Microphone you want to touch to unmute? Okay, doesn't seem like it's working, my darling. So if you'd like to type your question into the chat, we can address it there. I'll move over to Christine right now. So Christine, what's your question, my love? You need to unmute, honey. Christine, we can't hear you, honey. I think yep, there you go. Yep, it's not coming through, Christine. I think you're talking. I'm going to hit a button and see if it helps you to unmute.
Okay, I think I got it.
There you go. Now we hear you gorgeously.
Okay, I have a question. I know that how important it is to drink water, and my husband and I were on a program last year where you had to drink a lot of water, and they talked about it getting into the cells, and the toxins get trapped in our cells, and because we're not hydrated, we're sick. And so I was wondering with this, because it sounds amazing, can you drink less water? Because on that one, you're supposed to drink a lot of water. And because the way it works, can you drink less water? And then I have another question after that.
Certainly. Well, let's address that one quickly. First of all, when you drink regular water, you're only getting about, well, Mark mentioned earlier, about 33 to 40% hydration of the water. The rest is going straight through your system, and you're visiting the toilet quite often.
A
With
lot.
a lot. This is true. With eye water, you drink it, the whole thing goes into your cells. So it all goes into your cells and it pushes out the toxins and you hydrate your cell. They plump up, just like it showed in the live blood video, the live blood microscopy. I can never say that word. So yes, there's a huge difference there. We've heard testimony tonight that someone, slept through the night. They didn't visit the toilet through the night. Dr. Charlotte was. So yes, the eye water is truly, I have a passion. I drive through the city and I see all the high rises and all those apartments and all the other houses. Every single home needs that eye water unit, really for the health of their family. And Karen mentioned herself when she started with the water, she didn't feel anything with it properly. Not like some people who have, oh my gosh, I had one glass of it. Oh my God, there's such a difference. Everyone is going to be different on how it affects them, yet the science is there. Everyone needs it. We all need true hydration.
Yes.
Simple like that.
Well,
Answer that? What's your
yes.
second question?
Great. And then one gal mentioned how she saw weight loss because of it. And I like vacillate between 4 to 7 pounds. Like I'm not heavy, but I'm always struggling because I'll be good, but then I sugar and cravings and carbs I just love, and so it's a love hate all the time. And will this help somewhat with that?
Well, if I was out of game tonight, I'd be yelling bingo. Most definitely, honey. It certainly does. A story I love to share is I went to Tennessee for a conference. I have a leader down there that was building at the time. We had one fly in from Vegas, one flew in from Texas, and we did this huge presentation. There must have been 16 to 20 consultants, people like us that were using the unit in the audience as well as participants. We asked the people in the audience, those that were on already, what was the average of weight loss? And it was between 15 to 22 pounds in the first month of being on eye water. Now, I don't think you're going to lose 15 to 22 pounds because you only have 4 to 7 pounds, and I'm envious to lose. But you're more of a charity story. I think the cleanse is probably going to be something like you do and accidentally take 4 ounces a day. And that's where she shifted that last stubborn 10 pounds that you just can't get wrong.
Yeah.
I'll know that someday. But yes, that 10 pounds, I think, is what's going to help you. So you're going to be more hydrated. And another comment I want to make, because Deb Richardson, while she was sharing her story and telling you guys all the benefits of what it did for her, the one thing she left out is that we get together as a team every Monday night on a Zoom. And within no time, we're like, Deb, you look younger. Deb, you look younger. I promise you, this woman looks 10 years younger than she did last year. I promise you. Amazing. If she, we get side-by-side photos. So we always recommend people take a photograph of themselves, a nice close-up, so they can compare it as they move forward. That's the one thing too. When we go to conferences every year, we're a year older, but everybody's starting to look younger every year, after year after year.
That's so good to hear because I have my DNA and my sisters, we have like close up, very dry, wrinkly skin. And it's just like drinking all this water we did last year was supposed to make it look better, but I don't feel it did.
No.
So maybe
No, it did. Honey, it's the wrong water. It needs to be single file. And we just spritz away with the eye water. It's like your face is a raisin that we're going to turn into a grape, basically. Yeah. That's the problem, is it was the wrong kind of water, not even too much of it. It just got flushing out, right? Definitely.
Yeah. So back to that one question, do you think I can drink a little less water than 120 ounces or because
girlfriend, yes. Yes, definitely. The 500 milliliters, I don't know I'm Canadian, so I speak in my language, not your measurements.
Yes.
But the regular single serving bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drinking 3 bottles of those regular water, you only need 1 eye water.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been on tonight, been drinking my eye Thrive with eye water. It's like drinking 3 glasses of juice rather than the 1.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amen for sure, sister.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh,
I never used to like drinking water. It was a pain. My
Yeah.
body craves it. You've heard it from a few testimonials tonight,
Yeah.
right? So our bodies actually crave it. I never used to drink water, but now I kind of want to. It tastes better, it goes
Mhm.
smoother. No, your body craves it. Your body is telling you what it wants, and we need to listen.
Awesome.
Bless. Great. Thank you, Christine. They were great questions. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much very much. I'm at work and can't. My question is, so we have a question here. Let me go back up to it. Nope, down here. Looking for hands. Is the water imprinted or energized or structured? It is just structured, Angela. Great question there. The way it works is you need to bring clean, healthy water to the table. Gia brings the activator to the table, and it's a match made in heaven, literally. All we do is take the molecules from the clean, healthy water you have, line them up. They are now in a single file to get into the cells 100% and hydrate you properly. Hope that answers that nicely. Let's see, energizes the mitochondria. Well, Karen, energizes the mitochondria, they're saying. Am I saying it right even? Bless you.
Energizes every cell in your body. It gets everywhere
you.
and not only energizes, but helps pull the toxins out. So
That's right. And how does the water hydrate our cells? Well, we definitely have a nice little characterized video for that as well. But basically, like Peter Auger said, the water needs to be in a single file to get into cells properly. And then we have Dr. Igor Smirnov on the other side of the world saying, hey, I've invented this unit that makes single file water. Ta-da! So you activate the water, you drink it, and it's just lined up to get into our cells. Best story for that to share is when you've got kids playing on the playground. At recess time, the bell goes and they all run for the door at the same time in a chaotic structure. That's like the regular water you've been drinking, the clean, healthy water you've been drinking. It's not going to get through the door. The kids aren't going to get through the door. The water's not going to get into the cell. But if they line up nicely, they march in beautifully, and the same thing happens with the cells. In it goes. Beautiful. So there's more information we can share on that for sure. And Mark, thank you. Yep, must be in a single file. Perfect. Thank you so much. His question is it good for blood pressure or high blood pressure? Well, as we heard at the beginning, there's always Mark's wife, Charity's mom, the living testimony on that one. Is it good for blood pressure? 100%. It's good for everything. It's true hydration. True hydration helps everything. It doesn't clear up everything, but it moves you in the direction and is the best thing for you. Definitely. And if you click on the presentation, I think, Mark, they'll actually get more of Patty's story there. But over a few weeks, her blood pressure coming down, and leveled itself out beautifully. Again, a story that brings a tear to my eye. Gave her hope, and it gave it all back. Does water, Karen, I'm going to throw this one over to you. Karen, does water and Thrive, the iThrive, detoxify seed oils?
well, I believe, first of all, I want to say when we talk about detox, the water absolutely is aids in detox, but because I have that cleanse story, I would go, if you're trying to detox something specific, I would sure include cleanse in my regimen. And seed oils are just part of the toxins that we're all taking in our diet. So it's not like it's going to go in and, well, I'm not going to take this. And the I in the I water stands for intelligent. It's going to go into every cell, and what it identifies as a toxin or as fat or extra acid, it's going to pull it. Say, for example, in your stomach, where we need acid to digest our food, and that's where our immune system starts, it's going to leave the acid. So it's very discriminating about what it's pulling out of every cell, as opposed to just going and buying, I'm just going to buy alkaline water because I've heard alkaline water is good. To a degree it is, but our stomach needs the acid. So I did want to clarify what the I in I water stands for.
Beautiful, beautiful. And does iWater put the body at the right pH? Well, I think you've just basically cleared that up as well. Basically, when you drink the water, it goes into your body, and wherever it goes into your body, if it needs to be more acidic, it is. If it needs to be more alkaline, it is. So I think you did a great job of that. Thank you. And how does it differ from other structuring units? I can't really comment because I don't know other structuring units. I do know that this is a patented technology. We were featured on The Truth About Cancer 7, 10 years ago. I came 8 years. I don't remember how long ago it was. And others weren't in that respect. No other structuring units as such. So can't comment to that other than I will only drink eye water. I don't, if I'm on a long trip, I make sure I have extra bottles with me already activated. I do not even bother, no matter how thirsty I am, drinking regular water anymore. Absolutely pointless because it goes in and needs to come out, and I'm pulling over long before I need to. So for sure. How do we know if the water we'll bring to the table is clean, healthy water? Well, Patty, that is something that we need to really figure out for ourselves. I mean, I don't recommend drinking city tap water, and everybody has their own preference on what is clean, healthy water. So that's research that you would need to do on your own. I personally, I spring water because I'm on the road, was on the road a lot, and it was easy to buy the clean, healthy spring water, activate it, and I was good to go. Many people are on a well. They have their water tested. It has only got the nice nutrients and minerals from the ground, so that's clean and healthy for them. But again, I was so stressed. Do not drink city water. Odds are it's got the chlorine and the fluoride. I said that right? Yeah, chlorine and fluoride and other chemical runoffs in it as well. You do not want to activate that water because all of that will get into your cells 100%. So, now, Gia doesn't recommend any water other than it being a healthy, clean one. And as I say, it's a personal preference there. Randy is asking, Karen, over to you. Aren't most chronic diseases also a result of dehydration?
Yeah, and inflammation and oxidative stress. It's kind of a vicious circle. So when you can, first of all, and we have testimonies about people whose joints aren't hurting them anymore, once they started with the eye water, etc. And that's we're getting rid of inflammation. So again, that doesn't always happen overnight because the inflammation didn't build up overnight, but absolutely it helps with that.
Excellent. And iPhone is asking who did the blood test. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. I'm thinking you mean the who did the video for that Mark showed earlier. Not sure who did that particular one, but there's a few out there. And I do know that one of our beautiful GIA consultants up here, in fact, the lady who brought me into the company, does live blood microscopy, and also another dear friend of ours in the company as well. So I personally have had my water done many times by them, and we see the difference. So, and I know that lady who brought me in has sold so many water systems, pendants, and cell guards based on what you saw tonight in the video that Mark did. So, all right, next question. Will eye water help with someone dealing with diabetes or someone dealing with a system being blocked bowels? Yes, eye water will help with everything, but there are, again, other outside sources from GIA that we need to consider as well. If you've got diabetes, no sugar, you want to be helping along those lines. Mark talked about a keto diet earlier that he's now found, and Charity mentioned as well. So other factors need to come on board when we are looking at trying to improve anything. All righty. Thank you for answering questions. You're very welcome. You too, Karen. Thank you. I'm living in Scotland. I'm not actually sure if we can ship to Scotland. So that is something you need to reach out in an email so we can look at it a little more specifically. I know that we are operational right now in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So please, most definitely reach out in an email, a reply to the email that you get from Charity that she sent out when we have everything together for you. Okie dokie. Aye. What a good lass. I lived in the UK for a while. It was awesome. Can you use a store-bought cell phone cover? Yes, you can. Any case, in fact, my phones are store-bought. Oh, this is the one I want to show. You'll see I've got 2 little stickers on mine because it lasts for a year, then it expired, and I put another one on. So it's just good advertisement. I am out here sharing it, of course. There we go. You just stick it on the outside. It needs to be exposed to air, and it does not change and affect the efficiency of your phone at all. How beautiful question, Zoom user. Thank you. I was waiting for this to pop up. How long does it say structured for? Well, again, I'm no scientist, but I have learned that water molecules are always trying to pull apart. So at the end of the 30-minute cycle, it's already thinking I'm trying to pull apart, and the water molecules are moving apart. If you keep it on the counter, it should last you about 2 weeks before you would need to reactivate it. But again, who drinks 2-week-old water? Science is science. Put it in the fridge where things are colder, molecules move slower. It's going to last you longer, maybe 3 weeks. If you heat it up, depending on the temperature, it could last you 20 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, depends on the temperature. Can I give you exact numbers? Nope. So if you boil it, drink it fast. There you go. Is the water imprinted energizer? Oh, we covered that already. Hi Angela. Oops, my comment was not a reply. How long does the activation last? We covered that. That's that. Did I scroll back up here? Okay. How do we know if the water brings it to? Okay. Interesting. I think we're getting close to the end. Do you have calls just focusing on the business? Randy, you're a man after my own heart. We can talk more later, that for sure. We do training calls every Monday, helping our consultants to grow, learn to tell their stories, and network marketing, how we've decided to choose to bring our products to the world. It's an industry in itself. So we do training on that for sure. We have recommendations on videos to watch, and it is something I'd love to talk about. So we definitely need to connect, Randy, for sure. Good. I think I'm almost at the end.
You got Brian and Angela above
Randy?
Randy.
Randy, we definitely need to chat for sure, for sure. Okay, thank you.
Sue, I believe there was
Yep.
a question regarding someone that was on what would an oncologist say, that they're on a protocol with an oncologist?
Brian,
And
that is. Thank you. Yes.
I just wanted to say there is a graph and again, we don't make any medical claims, but I believe it's in the book. I know I have that graph that talks about chemotherapy and how the body responds to chemotherapy and the length of time it normally takes for your white blood cells to recover after you've had a treatment. And I believe it's usually 5 to 6 weeks. And there's a graph showing that in a matter of days, people drinking the eye water had their white blood cell count had recovered. And I believe it was about 5 days versus, not having that water. So that's just, no matter what you're going through, the eye water is going to support your body's system and promote, speed up that pathway, no matter what kind of healing it is. I mean, we've had people with, and again, I'm pulling this from Dr. Smirnoff's words, with MRSA that have come through it with much more rapidly, much quickly, recovered much quickly. And just like you heard Dr. Charlotte tonight talking about her family and how quickly they were recovering. So I did want to throw that out there about those being on an oncology protocol.
Excellent. Karen, you are our expert on that one for sure. Thank you so much. There's also another question Angela put out here. Does it matter if the structured water is near electronics? Will that disrupt it? If they're not protected to electronics, then I would think so. I would not recommend putting this unit next to your microwave if you still use one. Also, sunlight is something that will have an effect on the structure of the water. So if you have a good, strong kitchen window that's giving a lot of light, you want to keep it more in the shade in your kitchen because that will help deactivate. And it's just deactivate. It doesn't make the water bad. You just need to put it in the machine and do another cycle. So I hope that makes sense. Platinum. How long does the the home harmonizer is a forever product. It lasts forever, doesn't need any energizing. It has the ERT proprietary technology in it, and that doesn't go away. That's been trained into the product, and the home harmonizer will last forever. The only time you need to replace it is when you travel and you take it to a hotel to use it, and you leave and forget it behind because it's plugged in somewhere. I've done that a couple times, so yeah. Has anyone noticed improvement in hair and nails? Oh, we have hundreds of stories. Oh, not hundreds, but I was going to say decades of stories. I'm trying to think of the number for 10. Yes, nails are stronger, hair, everyone's different. Some people get their hair color back. Some people get growth back in bald patches. No, I don't mean bald men get their, spray their head and their boom, they got, afro going on. No. It did not give me thicker hair, but I did get more hair of it. Very fine hair. I almost looked bald all the time because my hair was so thin. But I didn't get my color back. I still have that lovely salty pepper stuff going on now. Some people, as I say, their gray went away. Everybody is going to respond differently. So do we put it in the fridge? Again, personal preference, Angela. I like my water room temperature. Mine stays on the counter. So it's however you like it. Okay. Does sunlight structure the water also? No, sunlight destructures the water, Zoom user. So we don't recommend putting it in the sunlight no. Once you've activated, I said you activate the water, sunlight will deactivate it quicker. Yes, so it won't structure it. It does the opposite. Karen, any testimonies on hormonal imbalance?
Again, we're just giving our body what it needs to do what the body was created and designed to do. But I do have multiple friends that were on thyroid medicine that have been able to cut down their level of thyroid medicine. So that being, a master hormone that often needs some help with regulation.
And
Mm-hmm.
I want to pop in there too, just to address hormones. We've had in the last few years a few different ladies with their monthly cycles. They had debilitating like PMS, like migraines, vomiting, like really horrific. And it was a combination. It was the water, the I Thrive, and the cleanse. Whatever was in those things, it just gave their body what it needed to come into homeostasis, to come into equilibrium. And they would be like, oh my gosh, I don't even realize it's my time of the month anymore, because all of that was addressed and resolved. So it was very life-changing for them in that way.
Beautiful. I was thinking of Judith myself then, Charity. So well done. That was a great story. Love it. And then Zoom user asks, would you still add minerals to it? Really depends on the water you've brought to the table. If it already had the minerals in it, no need to add them. If it is something like, what's it called now? Distilled water, you would want to add minerals to it. So again, you're making the clean, healthy water that you bring to the table, that we then bring the activator, and there we go. All right, Diane, thank you. This has been wonderful. That's the end of the chat questions. That was cool. That was fun, actually. Whew. I should do a game show on this one. That was fun. Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, Charity, I'll give it back to you and Mark to close us out. I guess we're done. Karen, it was brilliant partnering up with you as always. I love doing that on these calls with you. Thank you.
Yay. Yes. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Sue. You're a treasure trove of wisdom and knowledge. We love that we can rely on you. And guys, don't worry, because you're probably going to get off the Zoom and think of another question. So I'm going to put Sue Johnson's contact information in that email that goes out tomorrow too. So you can reach out to her if you think of anything else that comes up. A lot of people were asking about cancer. We'll put a link in there specifically to Dr. Smirnoff's research on tumor inhibition, and all of that, just so that you have it to take a look at. And then lastly, I was glad that somebody asked about the business, because that reminded me, there is a bit of a time-sensitive promotion going on for people who are interested. The sale goes all the way through the end of the month, but Gia is actually giving something even extra on top of that for the next 5 or 6 days. There's a really special training by our co-CEO, Linda Cormier-Hanser, who is an amazing woman. And I just love her. And her training is incredible on anything and everything, but she's actually doing a very special training on having an abundance mindset, a prosperity mentality, and just how important that is. And that's happening on the 20th. And it's the retail value of it is $297. But for anyone who joins between now and the 20th, when it's happening with one of these packages we've talked about, they get that access to that virtual online event completely free. So that's really, really awesome, super generous of them. And so if you're thinking about it and you're like, well, I'm going to get it sometime in the next 2 weeks, well, then just get it in the next 5 days so that you can get that extra added bonus. So that was awesome. You guys had such good questions. It was so awesome that you came from all over. I mean, I know Hannah was here from England, Scotland. They're like, it's midnight over here, and you guys showed up. So well done. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over to Dad now.
Okay. Well, I'm thrilled at Charity, what you shared, what Karen shared, what Sue shared. These folks are your upline folks. So if you do decide to sign up, you're going to have all these people to access for knowledge and for help and to have this kind of resources. And like Sue mentioned, every single Monday night, she's got training going on. So you have awesome training from your upline, awesome help. And you can tell that Sue just wants to talk to you and she wants to give you answers. So it's not like you're pulling teeth or anything like that. You're letting her flow in her gift. All right. So thank you all for sharing. All the testimonies were wonderful. Thank you all for coming. We will get an email out tomorrow with links to all this stuff. We also are going to put this whole thing online and on our website, our Community with God Ministries website. So it'll be there for the next 6 months. We tend to update this about every 6 months. So I pray it's been very helpful to you. I pray that you will take this to the Lord, pray about it, ponder it, ask God what he thinks about it, get his wisdom and his guidance, and then follow what he says to you. So I would like to say goodbye to everyone and thank you so much for coming. We will stay in touch. God bless. Bye-bye.